So that's what we are discussing. In Sarabjit's case, has India's reaction been over the top and politicized? What about other prisoners who are in the same position as Sarabjit? Joining us today, we have Deepak Singh. He is the son of Jamil Singh, who also disappeared from his village near Jammu in 2008 and was also convicted of espionage and was killed in the same jail as Sarabjit Singh earlier this year. We also have joining us Congress leader Abhishek Manu Singhvi. We hope to be joined by someone from the BJP in just a bit. But first to Deepak Singh. Deepak जी, आपने देखा ये पूरा आपने देखा होगा कि कैसे लोग सारे सरबजीत के साथ क्या हुआ, जैसे आपके पिताजी के साथ हुआ. क्या उस टाइम पर जब उनकी बॉडी को वापस लाया गया था कि उस टाइम भी आपको सरकार की सहायता मिली थी?
जी बिल्कुल नहीं मिली थी. हमारे को सरकार की कोई हेल्प नहीं मिली थी. जैसे कि आज सरबजीत सिंह के पहले मेरे फादर के साथ ऐसा हुआ था, उसी जेल में मेरे फादर का कत्ल किया गया था. अभी सरबजीत सिंह का कत्ल किया गया है. जैसे कि भारत सरकार की साइड से सरबजीत सिंह के परिवार को वालों को बहुत हेल्प मिली है. उनकी मैं बहुत खुशनसीब कहता हूं उस परिवार को कि उनकी बॉडी जो इतनी जल्द आ गई है. उनको अपने फादर की उनकी बेटी को अपने फादर की डेड बॉडी के लिए कोई इंतज़ार ना करना पड़ा. जैसे कि हमने कड़ी से कड़ी लड़ाई 2 महीने अपने फादर की डेड बॉडी लाने में की थी. तो मैं ये कहता हूं भारत सरकार ने अगर तभी कोई मुद्दा उठाया होता मेरे फादर के टाइम पर, तो आज ये सरबजीत सिंह के साथ नहीं होता. तो मैं ये भारत सरकार से नाराज़गी जताता हूं. 3 महीने हो गए मेरे फादर की मौत हुए, अभी तक भारत सरकार का कोई नुमाइंदा तो ना JNK सरकार का कोई मिनिस्टर हमारे घर में नहीं आया.
दीपक जी, डिड यू आस्क एनीवन फॉर हेल्प? किसी के पास गए थे आप?
जी हाँ, डिप काम के दफ्तर गए थे. जो डिप्टी CM है हमारे JNK का, उसके पास गए थे, मगर उन्होंने साफ मना कर दिया था इस बारे में. उन्होंने यही कहा था कि ये इंटरनेशनल मामला है, हम इसमें आपकी कोई मदद नहीं कर सकते. तो हमने जम्मू असेंबली में भी ये मुद्दा उठाया था. जुगल किशोर जी ने हमारे जो जम्मू के नेता थे, उन्होंने फिर भी इस बात पर कोई भी गौर नहीं किया और दिल्ली सरकार ने भी इस मुद्दे पर कोई गौर नहीं की. तो फिर भी हमने अपने ही बलबूते पर अपने फादर की डेड बॉडी लानी पड़ी. जो आज सरबजीत सिंह के साथ भी ऐसा हुआ था, मेरे फादर के साथ भी ऐसा हुआ था. जो सरबजीत सिंह के ऊपर भी केस, जो मेरे फादर के ऊपर केस था, वही सरबजीत सिंह के ऊपर केस था. आज सरबजीत सिंह को गवर्नमेंट की इतनी हेल्प मिल रही है. हमारे घर वालों को आज तक कुछ भी गवर्नमेंट की कोई हेल्प नहीं, कोई हमारे साथ इंसाफ नहीं हुआ. तो आज मैं भारत सरकार से यही अपील करता हूँ, हमारे साथ सरकार ने कोई कड़ी से कड़ी उनको सजा होनी चाहिए. जिन्होंने मेरे फादर के साथ ऐसा किया, हमारे साथ इंसाफ होना चाहिए. और आज तक हमारे भारत सरकार से कोई भी नाउमिंदा.
जी, हमारे साथ अभिषेक मनु सिंघवी. आई एम श्योर यू आर फेमिलियर विद द स्टोरी ऑफ जमील सिंह बिकॉज इट वाज इन द पेपर्स जस्ट अ फ्यू मंथ्स अगो. व्हाई इज इट मेनी पीपल आर वंडरिंग the same thing which Deepak is wondering, Jamil Singh's family is wondering, is that why isn't there a uniform policy for all the prisoners who are there and the kind of treatment that they get?
Let me start by saying that I think it is most unfortunate. All I can say is that it is not intentional discrimination. Secondly, I think part of the response, a large chunk of the response would vary from state to state. Because the central government response is one part, a state response is what takes up a lot of the awareness and the media headlines you see now, and possibly and perhaps regrettably the Jammu and Kashmir government response was not the same. Thirdly, what is most important is I think it underlines and re-emphasizes the vital need to have a uniform policy. Yes. At some other programs earlier in the evening, I have repeatedly said 2 things. One, apart from the specific tutu meme of an individual case which we and Pakistan have, we must have a comprehensive treaty now, because though we have mechanisms, though we have diplomatic and administrative initiatives, they will not work without at least some degree of sanction of law. A treaty obliges you to also change domestic law to be in conformity with the treaty. The treaty must provide for categories of criminals of each nationality in the other country, for their treatment, exchange, categorization, etc. And last but not the least, as you say, a uniform policy about all of them, which will automatically happen when you have a treaty, about, for example, a maximum time period of domestic court procedures, a maximum time period for release after having served out the sentence,
yes,
the compensations available, etc., etc.
No,
now these are already there on an ad hoc basis.
Okay.
But what you need them is in a uniform official policy basis. I think I do agree that the degree between the two has varied. It is distressing. But I think the Sarabjit Singh case, to answer the very specific question, Quake Jamil Singh, came into the limelight some time ago. I think it recurred in the limelight twice or thrice and came very close to solution with that horrible mix-up of names which Pakistan pretended to do.
Right.
And therefore, perhaps the circumstances which he died now have led to an outrage, and somehow that outrage was not duplicated in the case of Jamil Singh.
Okay.
I regret that.
Okay, Ravi Shankar Prasad also joins us from the Bharatiya Janata Party, a senior leader and the deputy leader of the Rajya Sabha. Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, I don't know whether you heard Deepak's story, but he told us how his father's circumstances are quite similar, because he was also convicted for espionage in Pakistan and he died in a similar attack in the same jail, and yet he had to wait, the family had to wait 2 months before the body was brought back. Why is it that, and this was earlier this year, why is it that in Jamil Singh's case, many people are wondering, the BJP, the Akalis, of course we saw because it's Punjab, but this is of course Jammu and Kashmir, but even the central leaders in the Congress, the BJP, everyone, why is it that they've taken up Sarabjit's case in a high profile way, but not for other people like Jamil Singh?
Well, in case of Jamil Singh, I know because this happened in my presence in the parliament when the body was not being given, and I regret to say I fully shared the concern of Deepak. One of my members from Punjab, Avinash Rai Khanna, raised it in the Rajya Sabha that unfortunately Indian Embassy had even asked them to arrange for expenses for his body to be taken to India. That was clearly regrettable. But yes, I quite see your point that the degree of focus which ought to have been given to Jamil Singh also, which was not given. The same is the case of in a compensation as well.
Yes.
Therefore, the government of India need to adopt a proper uniform policy. You know, Sunitra, it was very important because let me make 2 quick points here. Once we executed Ajmal Kasab and Afzal Guru, some reaction was bound to be there in Pakistan. And I differ with Abhishek for the simple reason, treaties can be there is no dispute about it. But what is more important is the willingness and the ability of Pakistan to obey to the terms and conditions. There also treaties in the past about
Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, do you agree with this?
Part.
Many people are wondering, fine, obviously you both agree, you and Abhishek Manu Singh, we agree that, there is discrepancy, it shouldn't have been, there should be a uniform policy, but do you agree, many people are also wondering why Sarabjit Singh, while his case is very tragic, but why is it that he's got national martyr status, even though we are unclear, the government's never come out clean about whether he's a spy or not. The government's never been clear about his status. So why has he got this national status? Why is it that senior leaders like Rahul Gandhi have rushed to that place? All the top brass of the Akali leadership in Punjab is there. Do you agree with the kind of reaction that has been, or do you think there's been an overreaction?
No, not the least. There is a sense of outrage in the country which you cannot ignore. The outrage, the kind of treatment, the brutal, merciless attack, and there is also a serious dispute as to whether his capital punishment was commuted to death, and he has already remained in Pakistani jail for more than 20 years. Yesterday we saw some of the Pakistani lawyers mentioning about that.
Yeah.
Therefore, Pakistan never came clearly on the whole nature of conviction and sentence of Sarabjit. And I regret to say the government of India ought to have exercised the kind of pressure, diplomatic and otherwise, to ensure that.
So, Abhishek Manu Singh,
therefore, that outrage is justified. But one very quick point here to meet your query.
Yes.
These kind of outrage would be there. The media also played a very effective role and a very constructive role. But what is important for the government of India today is to ensure that there is no retribution in India, regardless of the location of the any Pakistani convict, because we are a mature democracy.
Okay.
And secondly, convey a lesson to Pakistan very firmly and very forcefully that what has happened to Jamil Singh and what has happened to Sarabjit shall not be acceptable and shall not be tolerable.